Hi, I'm Cicero, Product Marketing Director at Smartsheet, and this is Smartsheet Unlocked with Productive.
My name is Rich Coles, founder and managing director of Productive. Welcome to Smartsheet Unlocked, the show designed to help people get the most out of Smartsheet, whether just getting started or already power users, where we bring you insights and real-life examples from Smartsheet everyday users, overachievers, the team developing, and the people within Smartsheet. Ultimately, our goal is to inspire people to achieve better outcomes leveraging the fantastic platform that is Smartsheet to help transform execution and unlock potential, be it organizationally or personally. We've been sharing tips and tricks on YouTube since 2021 and working with fantastic people from around the world. So we thought it about time we brought some of these people to share their stories. I'm thrilled to be joined today by the one person at Smartsheet events you will never miss, the one and only Cicero. And no wonder he only goes by one name, like Madonna, Beyonce, Bono, and Sting. He's a natural performer with a voice you can't help but hear booming out around Smartsheet ENGAGE and wearing his trademark eye-catching neon yellow t-shirt to boot, which he's got on today, clearly. And he is one of the standouts for me at ENGAGE, but it's not just his booming good morning instructions, but rather his massive knowledge of Smartsheet and his innovation when it comes to solutions, which he shares at ENGAGE and also other user groups, webinars and other sessions with customers and everywhere around the world. Cicero, welcome.
Thank you. This is awesome.
I could count on someone having a part of energy, even though it is bright and early in the morning for you, sir. Hey, first things first. Very few people go by one name, and that tends to be the rock stars and sports personalities. Which one are you, and how come you ended up with only one name at Smartsheet?
You know what I found? This has happened from years. I actually was a high school science teacher, and I already knew my name was Mr., so I had my students call me Cicero. It's always been there, and it sticks. And everything about what we do always is about brand. And I decided my brand was that 30 years ago. And now, to me, when people hear my name, when they see that neon yellow, they know they're going to get help, they're going to be supported. And that's what I go for.
I absolutely love that bit. And in the fact that, you're the only person I'm aware of at Smartsheet that only goes by one name, but I say unmissable as well. We can't fail but see you and remember you. And I very much remember the first time I engaged. Yeah, I saw you and you stood out. I'm so delighted to be chatting to you today. So you've already said, again, you've got a background as a science teacher. Tell us a bit more about your background and then what got you to what you're doing today.
hmm So back in the day when I was actually a teacher, I was also the director of technology for the school district. And that was back when tech was bleeding edge. I mean, we were talking the beginning of the web, the beginning of everything. And so I really dove in early. And from that point, I actually moved from teaching to start working at Microsoft. And from there, I've been in software ever since. And what winds up happening for me is I usually come into a new organization to help them teach, to train. And by doing that, I learn the product to a point where I become one of the SMEs. And I get to share that then with everybody, both internal and external.
Wow. And where are you based in the world as well? Just so obviously when they know to look out for you when they see that yellow t-shirt when they're crossing the road?
Right now, I'm just outside of Seattle.
Amazing. Awesome. So how long have you been with Smartsheet? And I guess, when did you realize that was the perfect platform for you and your personality?
So I've been with Smartsheet 8.5 years. It seems like yesterday, but I knew that Smartsheet was the one the morning I went in, and I actually didn't interview to start with. I was having a meeting with one of the executives about how they could fix training. And as I was waiting for that meeting to happen, I was looking at Smartsheet in the app. And I thought, boy, if I would have had this when I was teaching, my students would have been so much farther ahead. And at that moment, I went, this could be for everybody. And I knew immediately that I wanted to do this.
Wow. I absolutely love that because this is my reaction when I first hit Smartsheet. I was like, wow, what I could do with this bit. And that's why I now do what I do at Productive in terms of helping people bring life to it because it's the power of it. And the neon t-shirts, I think we've already touched on that bit, but that is clearly obviously your trademark brand as well. I love that. Question for you. Is it always yellow, or have you got a selection of kind of
It is
different neons?
always exactly this color. I have over 30 shirts in my closet. And that
Ah,
actually, when Smartsheet people come over for dinner or whatever, that's the question. Can we see your closet, Cicero? And then they're in awe.
and it sounds like therefore you could have a soccer team, football team, many different teams of everyone wearing obviously the
Oh,
trademark
yes.
shirts. And I guess there are times when you go out incognito as well, when you don't want to be seen. I mean, I guess you've got kids. Are they like, Dad, can you tone it down a bit? Or is it, hey, always,
Well,
always bright and
weirdly
loud?
enough, so my kids are older, which is good because I won't embarrass them anymore. But weirdly enough, I got this from one of my sons. He was big into it when he was in high school, and he hooked me to it. And then now I'm running with it.
Love it. Brilliant. So let's go back into, you said already that, I guess, background in teaching science, and then you've given us a bit of an idea of how you got to know and meet Smartsheet. But what makes it so different? You touched on there was something that we said, oh, if I had this, I could do so much more with it back then. What is it that makes it so special in your eyes?
I guess the best way to say it is if you have a problem, Smartsheet can do that. And that to me is the answer. Is it can be something as simple as a sheet that collects information, or it could be a whole project management solution. And it's really up to what do you need and what can you imagine. And that's the key with Smartsheet.
And I guess that's the bit where your personality comes in as well, because you're always looking to that teacher in you, that bit of trying to inspire people. And I think this is where you and I riff off each other because
Mhm.
I'm the same. It's okay because it's so flexible and it's not a pre-built solution. What do you want it to do? Let's see, can we do it? And I guess
Exactly.
this is where your brain of innovation comes in. Now, so let's just dig a bit deeper into your role. What is your role?
It should be what isn't my role, would probably be better. But it's anywhere that I can help unlock the dreams or the vision of our customers or even our internal people to really show them how to use Smartsheet. And so, what that entails is user groups, different conferences, Engage, the summits, for instance, in London, anywhere that I can really help people unlock Smartsheet.
Absolutely fantastic. And again, we will dig a bit deeper into the summits and to engage in a bit. Now, you said you've been there 8.5 years and it's just passed in a blink. I've been working with Smartsheet for 4 years now, and I've seen massive innovation in during that time. What are the changes you've seen? You've been a double me, yet the pace of change has been phenomenal, as technology always is. What are the things that you've been seeing happen since when you first started?
A couple big ones, well, actually, a number is for starters, the dashboards went from just really just kind of a presentation medium to a real live center for data, and that's been huge. I get so excited about the fact that when something changes on a sheet, that information immediately changes on that dashboard. That's, oh my gosh. But also, a number of changes have happened through automations. We had just very few when I started, and now it really takes a flat sheet and makes a living process out of it because of that. And so, those areas, and then just the increase of size of data, all of those things, all of that has changed so much to just add to Smartsheet.
And it gets the other bit is so many more people are using Smartsheet now, so many more people are sharing stories. And one of the
Yes.
things I find fantastic is because, as you said, it can be what you choose it to be. As different people discover it, they're using it for all these different things. And then as we all start hearing, hey, can we do that? Your brain, my brain starts going, can I do this? What else? And so there's that community of people saying, it's unlocked dashboards, all these different aspects coming together. Wow.
Let me interrupt you for a second, Rich, and that is you are one of my favorite people to talk to because every time we get together, your passion just keeps me going. And the things you do, I go back and go, you would not believe what Rich is doing with this. And so I learn as much from interacting with you as, anyone else. And I really appreciate all of that.
And this is the first time genuinely I've heard that said. Cicero, thank you. That genuinely means so much to me for someone who I have so much respect for in the world of Smartsheet to be actually saying that of our content. Gosh, wow. Just rolling back one touch before that bit. On the piece of the changes you've seen over the 8 years, I think one bit which strikes me is I come across people in the 4 years, but they're still stuck using technology, using Smartsheet as they first had it almost 8 years ago, just still as a spreadsheet. What do you do when you come across people who are still using it and haven't discovered these new features?
Change is always hard. And in most cases, our customers have so many things going on that they don't always have the time to explore Smartsheet and to really see those other things. And so when I start working with a customer, I kind of listen to what they're doing, hear what they're trying to do, and then open them up by saying, "Hey, have you tried this?" And that's where it's big. I had a customer a couple years ago. This woman I was on the phone with, and she had a big sheet, and she was working. And I said, "How do you add rows to this sheet? This is like huge." And she goes, "Well, we just open it up and start doing it." I said, "Did you ever think of using a form as an intake?" And it got dead quiet. And I thought, "Oh my gosh, I just insulted her. This is bad." And she goes, "You just blew my mind. I never thought of that."
Love it.
And that's what we want to do for customers is if you can give them that, think of the change that they have, the time they just got to do their job, all of those things just from something little.
Amazing. And it's a theme I hear from so many people I talk to who've got involved in Smartsheet, who are helping people growing. And it's that light bulb moment people see when someone goes, "You've just changed this for me. You've just totally opened up a new way of doing it." And that's why I love when we engage with clients who go, "I never knew that was possible." As you
Yep.
say, and it just changes that world. And this goes back to, what you were saying about some of the YouTube videos I do. I remember attending one of your webinars a couple of years ago, and I saw you do some tricks on that, and I was like, wow, that blew my mind as well. And so I then went back and said, well, let me just recreate it. And so, yeah, I went back and this was about doing the dynamic dashboard updating, etc.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, what I've said to you before is like amazing because that's one of my most watched YouTube videos because I saw something you had done. And this goes back to the power of community about sharing what can be done. And I think this is where you and I come in and so many others out in the community of what is the art of the possible within Smartsheet. And don't be shy. This is where, again, Alison Clancy and others talk about the community so powerfully of it's there because when you see what others are doing, you bring it to life, on
Yes.
that side. And I think, Cicero, that's the bit that because of your role, you get to talk to so many people and you're constantly going, what's going to unlock that potential in
Yep.
someone else? And let's tell them a story and let's do it in that way.
Well, and that's the thing is, it doesn't have to be big to change your life. I had a woman that I taught a single formula, and that formula changed how she did her job. And she actually wound up getting written up in a magazine about it, all of these things, because it made that big of a difference. One formula. And when we can do that, that's just, I mean, you walk away going, "I feel successful."
Gosh, and thank you. Because again, you remind me, I'm constantly when I'm doing a YouTube video going, well, actually, how do I take it up another level? And what's the next piece of innovation? But also what I'm aware of is actually just the simplest things can make a massive
Yep.
difference to an organization as well. And you shouldn't always be trying to push the boundaries to another level because those are the people who are already doing amazing things with Smartsheet. Actually, one person who's just using it as a simple spreadsheet to unlock a small feature suddenly can just make all that massive difference as well. So again, thank you
Yep.
for reminding me. Focus back on the basics because lots of people aren't even aware of those basics, as you say, and they might have been using Smartsheet for the 8 years, not be aware of the form.
Well, a good example of that is I was working with a customer who had been using Smartsheet for about 12 years. And I had asked him, I said, "You sound like a real power user, this." He goes, "Yep, yep, I am." Came to find out he had never used a form. And when I showed him a form, you would have thought I showed him how to make gold. And that's even every power user, every user can add something else to their tool belt. And that's what's so exciting.
Well, thank you. Your comment on I guess watching some of the YouTube videos that we put out as well is every day I'm looking to say what can be done, what's new, always listening to, and this is the joy I get of speaking to people around the world of what problems are you trying to solve for? Because we go,
Hmm.
as you said, it can be solved with this Smartsheet. There's usually a way that you can do it. So that's why I always go and dig into it. And your brain's exactly the same. Wow. So some of the solutions, because it all comes back down to it's not about the features in the Smartsheet. It's got all these fantastic features, but people are ultimately looking at what outcomes it's going to drive. And it's knowing these little features, bring them together. That's a solution. What are some examples of the favorite solutions you've seen in your time? What's been the impact of some of these?
Yep. People always think, oh, there's just so many, I can't keep track or this. And it's like, when you really think about it, there's a very small number of true unique solutions, but they're just tweaked to be for you, whether what, industry, what level, what department. And intakes are always so powerful because everything we do begins with an intake. And so by making that happen, and not just the intake, because that's where people go, oh yeah, okay, fine, you're submitting something. But how do I know it's being submitted? And so when an automation can tell me, hey, you got new stuff in, I can actually do something with it and not have to keep looking to see, did anything come in? And have things that will fire at a certain status, for instance. Those are the pieces of all solutions that I think change people's lives, because it again takes that flat sheet that you have to keep checking, and it makes a living process that tells you when to look at it.
It's all about this, the automation, it's about the collaboration, it's bringing this stuff to life. Gosh. And the intake that you talk about, I mean, that's one of your favorite subjects that you tend to cover off
Mhm.
at Engage. And when we talk about that, just before we go there, for me, as you say, Smartsheet ultimately comes down to it's a form, it goes into a sheet, which goes into a report, which goes into a dashboard. And as you say, it's all permutations of that. And yes, it's got the automations on that and all the formulas that you do. But ultimately, when you've mastered those things, and this is the bit for me, I'm no coder. I just took and understood how those things flow and then just imagine solutions on that bit. And I think
Yes,
that's where your brain goes to of keep it simple. And it's just permutations of tailoring it to the right organization, to the right audience looking to achieve.
exactly. Who needs what when? And that's the key that we can unlock with Smartsheet.
Wow. So Engage. That's where I first saw you. Could miss you and couldn't miss hearing you as well. For those who don't know what Smartsheet Engage is, and we've talked about it a lot on this podcast, but Cicero, want to hear it from the Oracle himself. So, what is Smartsheet Engage?
So Smartsheet Engage has been around for 8 years since I started, and it is our World Customer Conference that we hold right now out of Seattle. And it brings together all levels of Smartsheet users so that they can come away with something that they can build from. We also have a number of sponsors involved, yourself, and all of that to also give the customers options and ideas and ways to implement Smartsheet. And so we do a lot there. We also meet with a lot of executives and things to actually help them see what's possible. Many times the executives way up in their, high towers lose sight of what's possible,
In
and we try to help them also open up. But the area that I focus on are the breakouts. This year, we're going to have 70 different breakout sessions for all different topics, everything from deep formulas to how do I start a solution, and all of those things. So, and when I work with all of these individual presenters, my main question to them is, what are they going to walk away with? What do they learn from you? And that's the key to me. If somebody walks out of a session and goes, I can't wait to do this, then we're successful.
got to say, the energy, one, your energy, but two, the energy from Engage is absolutely incredible. That when I first went there, and the concept for me that paying customers who are paying for software, but actually it for them is so much more than a software because it's unlocking how they can operate. And the success stories I've heard of people, how their careers have been transformed by this, how businesses have been transformed by using Smartsheet. So to see that people become, gosh, fashion which they come around to Engage. And I think this is the fascinating bit. 70 plus breakout sessions and all the other sessions are there. Something for everyone.
Yep.
That's the piece there. And then all these people coming and people go year after year. I mean, I guess this is one of my questions. I've been before. So am I going to persuade my management team to sort of sign off a check again for me to go another year? They'll say, yeah, but you went last year. Okay. Help someone who's got that challenge when someone says, yeah, but you went last year. No, we can't do it again. What are they going to get out of coming a second year round?
A number of things. One, there's always new people to meet and new ideas to hear. That's key. The collaboration and community is huge within Smartsheet. Just like you said, when you get a whole bunch of raving fans together, it's a nerd fest and it's awesome. And so that's always something new. But we also always are adding new sessions. Even sessions that we might repeat from the last year are always
Yeah.
updated into what are the new features, what are the new ways. And even some of the sessions I've given for a number of years, I'm always going, okay, how would they use it now? What else can I be adding to it? And so we're always tweaking, always adding the new feature information, all of those types of things. So lots to always get, and it's never old.
I think your piece one is you never know who you're going to bump into there. For me, it's people there. So yes, I know I'm going to find fantastic stuff, but okay, watch stuff online afterwards. No, it's the conversations with people when you're sitting around and you say, as you said, it's a nerd fest. Again, so many people are just so passionate about talking about Smartsheet. When you discover people who go, Smartsheet, and then you get into that conversation and people say, Rich, I've had enough. You don't need to tell me any more about Smartsheet. I'm suddenly there surrounded by other people who just want to talk about it. And that's fascinating. And then how are you using it? And that's just unlocking things because
Yep.
we don't know what other people are doing. And that's the joy for me of hearing all these things which I hadn't imagined. And I go, that opens up those ideas where I can go to on that side. And you say, and as we just said, there's always keeping the basics there. Whilst you might have done that session last year, wait a second, there are people who are there who are brand new to Smartsheet as well. So they still need to understand the
Yes.
foundations, those building blocks there. And so I think you said one of the key sessions you always focus on is intake as well. And I guess it's bringing to life that process for people in your own way, which clearly will always be memorable.
Yeah, because that's the thing is even power users that might be sitting in my session, and I address them right at the beginning and say, you know what? Whatever level you are, you should be trying to pull something new from me and look at it with a different lens. And
Agree.
that's what I try to always do, and I do it back at them, because when they're talking to me, I'm like, I never thought to do that. I get home from Engage and I want to play because, like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
It is that crazy thing. People say, Rich, you're working. Why don't you take a break from this, etc. I'm like, work is play.
Hmm.
For some people, they do Sudoku and other things. For me, literally, I mean, it was the weekend. And I was building stuff because I suddenly had this great idea. And for me, it's solving puzzles, it's solving
Yes.
problems. And I get so excited by that bit. And that's why, again, the YouTube videos, because I want to share that. And again, one of the aims of the videos, actually, because the more I share, I hope that people will then come back and share other things which inspires other or asks other questions on that bit. We just had the London Summit, and that's where you and I spoke recently,
Hmm.
and you got to talk at the London Summit. So just for those who don't know, what are the summits as well, and what's the difference between a summit and Engage? Because there's a few of these happening across the US and around the world at the
Hmm.
moment.
So summits are a way to just bring Smartsheet people together, for one, because there's always, like we were talking, community is always powerful. And so that's part of it. The other is summits are designed to bring in those people who have not experienced Smartsheet, who are new or questioning, or, you know what, we need something different. And so not only is it helping existing customers get new ideas and meet people, but it's also bringing in all of those new potential customers that don't understand Smartsheet and feed off of that energy from those existing customers.
And I guess having these summits as well, because Engage only comes around once a year.
Mm.
And this is the piece, whereas now there's that check-in point, but also what's fantastic for Smartsheet is that they're more, I guess, geographically spread around the world as well.
Yes.
So they've been happening in Asia Pacific, they've been happening in Europe, happening across America as well. So that's fantastic that people can come in and then go, wow, if this is giving me a taste, there's so much more to come. And my sense is the planning is in full flow for Engage in November time. I guess you're pretty involved in that bit, Cicero. I mean, again, you're not just the guy with the t-shirt shouting the good mornings and pointing out. You're pretty involved every step of the way, yeah?
Yes. Oh, yes. I get to have all the involvement with all, like I said, all the breakout sessions. So I work with every single one of those 70 to get the content right up there to the top level. Also working with all the booth presenters to make sure content and information is available for our customers there. And then all just kind of the general feel, flow, and things that are part of Engage, I get the privilege of helping with.
So it's going to be pretty full on. And we will be talking again because this year, yeah, Productive's going to be over in Seattle. We've got a booth there as well. So we are one of the co-sponsors. We're very excited to actually be over in Seattle. We always go, but we thought, hang on a second, let's actually have a presence there as well because we're working on some pretty exciting innovation as well, which I gave you a bit of a sneak preview to.
Yes.
And so,
Oh,
yeah,
can't wait.
we look forward to showing that in its full being. Obviously, there'll be sneak previews coming before Engage. Wow. Hey, so I'm going to now ask you some of the questions I ask everyone. So for someone first starting out with Smartsheet, what's your advice?
So start with what you know, right? Is everybody comes in with some knowledge, whether it's of different types of spreadsheets or even just a piece of paper, and look at Smartsheet that way and find something you can get a win with right away. But then start exploring what else is there. Right? Look at the community, for instance, to get ideas. That's a key piece. But the other is don't hesitate to try. Smartsheet is very easy to try something. Say, well, I wonder if I do this. The world will not end. And you can really step out by just trying something. And then when you do, if you've succeeded, great, keep going. If you fail, now you understand the failure. And when you go to the community and you say, I did this, but this happened, what now people just jump in to help. Say, oh yeah, I did that too. Do this. And so you build on those trial and errors.
Fantastic. You're never alone. I think this is the teacher in you as well. Just a bit of, yeah, share. And the fact you can just, it's constantly be curious, constantly pushing and say, I'm constantly seeing, can I do it? I was trying to crack a formula at the weekend and I cracked it. And again, it's, can this be done? I don't know, but let me try. As you say, you can't
Yes.
break Smartsheet.
Yep.
This is the thing. Go and delete something, then you can get it back. But the point is, you do it again and again. And there's
Mhm.
the risk. Obviously, don't play with your live data. You can work out and test these things, and suddenly you're amazed at what you can achieve. And again, there's always someone else who's tried something similar, and you can ask those questions.
Exactly.
So, and then let's just say someone's got Smartsheet in the organization. They've suddenly discovered this piece of software, and they're going, "Wow, this is transformational." And everyone's going, "Okay, yeah, here we go again. Tell us about Smartsheet." What's your advice for people? How do they build that growth within the organization? Because that's sometimes why we see people just so passionate, and people others don't quite see it.
You know, change, like I said earlier, is hard. And so when you force people to change, they immediately kind of dig in. But when you can show people quick wins and everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to shine. And if you can have your solution help them, give them time, give them an audience, those types of things, you will have a convert immediately. And then you're just adding on. And those are the people you want because now they see it, they feel it, they're going to spread it. And I always equate those initial Smartsheet people in an organization to holding a diamond. And you're holding a diamond above this pool of water and it's just flat. But when that diamond, when we release it and it hits the water, the ripples just spread. And that's the ideas and the magic of Smartsheet going out through an organization.
Love it. I always talk about the what's in it for me with him as well. You might talk about it. And it's not about forcing Smartsheet onto people, but when it's about how can we make them shine as those stars? I love your analogy of the
Exactly.
diamond there. How do we help them be great? They're the stars of the show. And so I always look at it and as productive we work people, it's not about what we're doing. How can we make you shine as high as possible? How do you stand out in the organization? Or how can you make others shine? Because if you make them shine, the organization shines and it reflects back to you at the end of the day. So it's
Mhm.
about helping enable people to achieve more. And then when people go, wow, this is changing for me, it's making my life easier. You mean I can actually finish work earlier or I can achieve more? I can progress higher and faster because I'm doing more. And people go, hey, I want to talk, let's do stuff. And then you start jamming together. And as you
Yes.
say, when you've got that internal community, you're talking and they're all talking the same language on the same business problems. And you'll go, how can we solve this? With the help from the community? Amazing.
Well,
Wow.
and it's
Yeah.
exactly like that. It's like the old Tom Sawyer painting the fence, right? They're painting the fence and making it look awesome, and everyone's like, "Wow, you're having fun!" And well, yeah, you want to paint, and that's what we do with our people, right? They see you succeeding and they go, well, that looks really cool. I think I want to do that too. And it just propagates.
Totally. And they don't want to get left behind, ultimately, is the other piece as well. So let's go now into Smartsheet. So what is your personal favorite feature within Smartsheet? Because there's got to be a lot of them.
My absolute personal, and this is something that I teach every single person from CEOs down, is the soon as you get a sheet or dashboard, whatever, shared to you, sheets especially, we get those all the time. And we go, okay, now I've got another one to check. The first thing I do is I go in and I create an automation for myself. Everybody who has even a view to a sheet can create an automation for themselves that will give them an alert when it changes. And I say, go send this to me when something on this sheet changes, and I set it and I forget it. And then when something happens and I need to see the sheet, it tells me. Otherwise, my brain is free. And that to me epitomizes all of Smartsheet. Right? I should be able to work on hundreds of projects and only work on the ones that tell me they need me. And that's what that does.
Love it. When I first discovered Smartsheet, that was one of the first things which I put in. But then I discovered, rather than it pinging me every 5 minutes that a change had been made, I went, oh, hang on a second. Once an hour, once a
Yes.
day. That was the beauty. So then I was running a refurbishment program in the Olympic Village in London. And every morning, when something had changed, the teams would go in and right in front of them, in their emails and say, these are the changes that took place yesterday that you now need to action. Oh, start of the day. This is what we're going to get on with. A simple change as that. Again, and we forget in the amazing range of things you can do within Smartsheet, you forget about some of the simple things which are, say, fundamentally transformational in terms of how they work. Wow.
Absolutely.
And so then, if that's your favorite feature, what's the favorite feature that you wish was coming or is coming soon?
I think the ones that are the big ones that are coming soon are going to be the AI components, right? Because once we get that, then some of the things that I do that are repetitive still and things like that, it can do so that it frees my brain up to go further. AI is great. It'll do those kind of things, but it doesn't have my brain. And I can go farther. And that's what it's going to let me do. So as we start doing more and more of that, the simple formulas, the things like that, now I have time to imagine my job better.
So that kind of wraps things up in terms of my questions. What, if you got anything, I guess, coming up soon that you want to flag or any particular mentions to any of the team?
Well, like you said, we've got more summits coming in Europe. We have Munich, we have Paris coming up. Those will be happening later in the fall. We've got Engage, and we have people from across the world. We had 32 countries last year attend Engage. And I get to see you again, which I can't wait. And there's all of the user groups. Europe has a number of user groups, the United States, all around the world, actually. There's always user groups to get involved in and the community. And so that's really key. And I try to be in as many of that as I can.
Fantastic. As you say, don't stand still, keep looking, keep exploring. Cicero, you've been hugely generous with your time today. Really love talking to you anytime. And particularly just be able to share this, record it, and share it with many others as well. Cicero, thank you for your time.
Thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure, and it's always a pleasure working with Rich.
Well, thank you. So there we have it. Cicero, the one and only, the man with the neon t-shirts that you will not fail to miss if you're at Engage. And as he says, so worth being there. Now, really trust you got a lot out of that. In particular, just the energy that Cicero brings. And that comes because he can see the potential and has seen this potential around the world of the difference that Smartsheet makes. And it's that constant curiosity of learning. And that he also, being there 8 years at Smartsheet, is constantly going, how can I improve? How can I get better? How can I unlock potential? It can take things away from Cicero. And again, and that's our whole aim at Productive as well, in that we hope the content we share helps inspire people, unlocks that potential, transforms execution in the organizations. So if you've got any questions for Cicero, I'll put his LinkedIn into the show notes. And if you've got any questions for us at Productive, please let us know. There's going to be a link to the podcast if you want to be able to put any suggestions for future guests or topics you'd like to cover. And if not, we will see you at Engage and we'll see you on future podcasts. Thanks for watching and bye for now.